Welcome students. Today we will study Plant Life, the Flower, Class 6, Biology, Chapter 2. So let's start students. Dear students, topics to be covered in this video are the flower, parts of a flower, types of flowers, function of a flower, pollination, types of pollination, fertilization, the fruit, dry and fleshy fruits, functions of a fruit, the seed, types of seeds, germination of a seed, types of germination. So we will study in this video all these topics. Dear students, in the first chapter, we have already discussed about the parts of plant like roots, leaves, birds, fruits. Now in this chapter, we will study about the flower. Flower is the most beautiful and attractive part of a plant. And it is the main part also because it takes part in reproduction. Now parts of a flower. A flower has four main parts: calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. All the four main parts of a flower are arranged in four valves. Now in detail we will study about calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. We will study in detail about calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. The first one is calyx. It is the outermost wall of a flower. It is green in color. It is consists of leaf-like structures called sepals. You can see in your figure parts of a flower, green color part. This is called the calyx, and you can say it's sepal also. In diagram, it is written sepal. Sepal and calyx both are same only. Corolla. Second one is corolla. It is the second inner wall of a flower. It consists of brightly colored, large and centered structure called petals. जो different colors की petals होते हैं, this is called the corolla. Now, third wall of a flower is androecium. It is the male reproductive part of a flower. It consists of stamens and anther. The anther bears yellow powdery substance called pollen grains. The pollen grains take part in the reproduction of flower. Now the last one, gynoecium. It forms the fourth innermost wall of a flower. It is the female reproductive part of a flower. It is composed of one or more carpels or pistils. Each carpel or pistil is composed of stigma, style and ovary. Means gynoecium has stigma, style and ovary. Stigma is the sticky disc-like terminal part. Style is the long narrow thread-like tube. Ovary is the swollen part which contains eggs, which called ovules. In this table, we will study about flower parts and their functions. Sepals. Sepals protect the inner part of a flower at its bud stage. Petals protect the essential wall of a flower and attract butterflies because it is very beautiful, scented and different colors. So that's why it attracts the insects for pollination. Stigma. It has a sticky substance for trapping the pollen grains. Style holds the stigma high to catch the pollen grains. Ovary. It protects the ovule and grows into the fruit. Ovule. The ovules develop into seeds. Filament. It holds the anther high up. Anther. It contains pollen grains. So in this video, we are summarizing the flower part with their function. It is very important table. Student, you should learn this. This is the activity 1. This activity, students, you can try at home. Only the China rose you need. China rose means hibiscus. In Hindi we say it gulhal flower. You can take a hibiscus flower and you can observe the part of flower in it, like sepals. I told you the green part outermost, and after that sepals, the scented color, petals, and after that inner wall, stigma, style. All these you can clearly see in hibiscus because it's a big flower. You can easily find it also and easily see also. So you have to do this at home by yourself. Types of flowers. There are two types of flowers, bisexual and unisexual. Bisexual means which has both male and female parts. Rose and hibiscus are the example of bisexual flowers. Unisexual which has only either male part or female part, means ki anyone. And the examples are papaya flower is the example of unisexual, and bisexual examples rose and hibiscus. Flower main function is reproduction, and the first step of reproduction is pollination, and the second step is fertilization. What is pollination then? The process of transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma. It can be of the same flower or same plant, or it can be from the other flower or other plant, or this is known as pollination. Again, the proper definition is the process of transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma of the same flower or another flower of same type of plant is known as pollination. Now, types of pollination. There are two types of pollination, self and cross pollination. Pollination. When the pollen grains from an anther of a flower are transferred to the stigma of the same flower or another flower of the same plant. Keep it in the mind, same plant. Self-pollination means in the same plant. It is termed as self-pollination. The self-pollination occurs naturally. This word also you have to keep it in mind. The self-pollination occurs naturally means this pollination does not need any agents for pollination. It occurs by itself. See the figure A, transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma of the same flower. You can clearly see in this figure anther and stigma, and there is a transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma. And in the second figure, transfer of pollen grains from anther to one flower to the stigma of another flower of the same plant. These both processes are called self-pollination. Cross-pollination. When the pollen grains are transferred from the anther of one flower to the stigma of another flower of the same type, it is termed as cross-pollination. It occurs through external agents. Just now we discussed about self-pollination means it occurs naturally and there will be no need of the agents. But in cross-pollination, we need this pollination external agents. Now in the next slide we will study about the agents by which help the cross pollination will happen. First you can see the figure, stigma, anther, transfer of pollen grains from one flower to another flower. Agents of cross pollination. Cross pollination takes place by various external agents like wind, water and insects. The first one is pollination by wind. Some plants like maize and wheat have dry and light pollen grains produced in a large quantity. As the flowers of these plants get matured, pollen grains are blown away by the wind. Some of these pollen grains fall on the stigma of a flower of the same type, thus resulting in pollination. So with the help of the wind, the pollen grains blown away from one plant to another. Second one is pollination by water. In some aquatic plants like Hydrilla and Vallisneria, the male flowers are completely submerged in water. On maturity, they get detached and float on the surface of water. Detached means separated. The female flower that has a long stalk also floats on the surface of water. When a male flower moving with the water current comes in contact with the female flower, the pollen grains fall on the stigma, thus leading to pollination. So by the help of the water in Vallisneria and so many others aquatic plants, pollination will happen. By insects. Insects like bees, butterflies collect nectar from flowers. When these insects alight on a flower, means when they come in contact with the flower, the pollen grains stick to their bodies. When they visit another flower, the pollen grains are transferred to the stigma, thus leading to pollination. Means when they went from one flower to another, pollen grains are stick in their bodies and they transfer from one flower to another and leading to a pollination. Examples: orchids, harshingar and salvia. Differences between self-pollination and cross-pollination. You can write this by in your own language also. Self-pollination means transfer of pollen grains takes place from the anther to the stigma of the same flower or another flower of the same plant. In cross-pollination, the transfer of pollen grains takes place from the anther of one flower to the stigma of another flower of the same type. Means different plant but flower should be the same type. In this type of pollination, external pollinating agents are not required in self-pollination. But in cross-pollination, agents are required like water, air and insects. Third point, the flowers need not to be large, showy and scented. In cross-pollination, flowers should be large, showy and scented. Then only they can attract to the insects. No? That's why. Thank you my dear students for watching this video. Very soon I will share with you the remaining part of this chapter.